Hi guys, Dragon here today doing Burning Abyss deck profile. Yeah, there's not much I can really say about this. It honestly hasn't changed a lot since my last one. It's probably why I haven't had a video out for a long time with it, because I've been playing basically the same build with very minor edits. It's been working fantastic. It does very well against most decks that come up against. I should have sides for Shadows, but I don't, because honestly, Shadows I can fight. Turbo Towers I can't fight. So there's a lot more hate for that and Stellar Knights than there is for Shadows. Shadows sometimes is a skill matchup, sometimes it's luck. Honestly, I should have Karma cards somewhere, but I don't. But I've got a few other cards to deal with that. Anyway, let's get into it. So we'll start off with obvious 1, 2 guard at the end of the world. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer for this time around. There we go. 1 tour guide. We run the obvious ones: triple Graph, triple Sir, triple Farfa, and triple Scum. This is a turbo build. That is why there are so many Farfas as opposed to maybe 2, which most decks currently are running. I'm running 3 because it is turbo and it is Pilgrim build, but it works very, very nicely. Don't get mistaken at all. Double Baba, double Kagna, double Rubik, double Alec. Can't see that, I'm sorry. I thought this was lower. See, double Baba, double Alec, double Kagna, double Rubik, double Libic, double Kalkab, double Draghig. Purely so I have lots of names. I can almost always hit one or do something with it. Would any of these go to 3? Maybe Kagna or Rubik. Not Rubik. Maybe Kagna or Baba are the only ones like I honestly think have the potential of going to 3 in this deck. Out of this lot, the rest would be 2 or maybe 1. This is the turbo build. That is why I run 2 of each, because it is not a pain at all running 2 of each. Not in this. Spells. We run the mandatory 1 Foolish and 1 Allure. Not much to say about that. And I run 2 copies of Galaxy Cyclone, which would be 3 if I had one. Especially right now, it would most definitely be 3. Give or take that Foolish Burial. This is actually really, really good in this deck because you mill it to the grave so much and it saves your ass, especially against a Vanities or a Call Haunted. Yeah, it'll do a lot. I won an interesting game last night when I was down on 300 life because I had that ready to hit Call Haunted. Went Alucard, detached, tool guide into Alucard, detached my Calcab, targeted one of his sets with Alucard, destroyed that, which was his Stoll Core, and then Calcab went to target his one of his other sets. I was really lucky, it was the Call Haunted, so he had to activate it, and then I banished out the Galaxy Cyclone to kill it. Alright, oh yeah, and if I didn't mention, triple Terminus, because our trap lineup is triple Traveler, double Firelake. I was running Firelake at 3, which was working, but it is a little bit more dependent than the other ones, to be honest. Like Traveler, I can abuse even having 1 on the field or 1 Dante. Firelake, not so much. Firelake's great, but I substituted the last Firelake for a Torrential Tribute, which are absolutely amazing and need to come back to 3 really badly. And I run 2 breakthroughs. Even though I'd put the Galaxy... I'm so sorry. I'm not looking at my camera. God, I keep thinking slower. So I don't zoom in this much. This is not going to be good. Screw it, I'm going to zoom out. There we are. I'm sorry. So yeah, I was running 3 like subbed 1 out for the Trench Tribute. I won't run 3 breakthroughs. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I don't really need it at 3. Again, I've always thought maybe I could run 3 breakthroughs through Galaxy Cyclone, but if I was going to run one of them at 3, I'd be running Galaxy Cyclone at 3, especially right now, with the pendulum meta starting to sink in. But for now, this is good. Traveler is actually really, really good in this build, especially with Terminus, because you can just abuse the fuck out of having Dante's. I don't use Dante's effect to add Dante back to the extra deck, so I get 1 stack half the time. I use this to bring back Dante, and then abuse Dante and go, oh, bring back Traveler, bring back this. I've got 2 Dantes on the field, sure. Both of them go, sure. Bring both of them back and add all the shit back. I mean, add Dante I can't boost up, or I brought back with this, and a couple of other, Seren and Graph. Play Terminus, get heaps, and then bring back all of them. That happens a lot. Anyway, yeah, so that's this for this turbo build is actually really, really nice. Don't take it for granted. A lot of people underestimate how good this is and how Terminus can out so many things. Again, this deck has a real big problem against turbo towers. You really can't beat over it, so honestly, you need to rush these into the grave so you can just beat over a towers. And some of the towers run like turbo tower decks run 2 towers, and if you can't beat over towers, you're basically screwed. And there's nothing we really can, except for Dante Pilgrim with one of these on it, or like everything else that's been jacked up by like 2 of them. So Terminus is really, really handy to have 1 in grave and 1 in hand, especially against, especially against turbo towers, which are just gonna ruin your day. And yeah, it works really well actually. And of course, as I've explained in previous videos, Dante Pilgrim actually makes a pretty nice way of, or hand trap abuse, or way of using like Farfa and all that as hand traps to abuse your opponent. They declare an attack with Construct onto Dante Pilgrim. Oh, cool. Discard Alec, negate the effects of Construct, draw a card. Oh, look, they ran into each other both at 2-8. Or, oh, look, my Dante was at 3-6, so I used Terminus last turn. Banished it from the grave to boost him up. Yeah, that happens a lot, actually. Really don't underestimate it, guys. For extra deck, standard, triple, double, and because I run 3 of them, 2 Dante Pilgrims, getting 2 of these out's actually really, really dirty. Especially if you've got heaps of Fire Travelers set. Really, really dirty. And also triple downed, because you don't want Trevere to go off and for you not to get anything back from your BAs. Or you don't want your opponent. What happened to me last night? I had someone, he had Goyo out. One of my opponents had Goyo out for whatever reason. I'm like, well, I'm not keeping Dante on the field because you're just gonna take my Dante, so I'm gonna put Downed on top of it, so you take Downed and I get Dante's effect. And of course I had Traveler's set, so he killed off both my Dantes. I got both the draws and I brought both of them back, as well as the other materials underneath. So yeah, 1 Alucard, really, really good. If you're not playing this, well, that's silly. 1 Acid Golem, 1 Nightmare Shark, Game Seal, especially with the Barber. Oh, so good. 1 Levier. You can do really awesome plays with Levier with Barber. Seeing as like what I usually do is I banish 1 Equipped Engineer. Sorry. What I usually do is I like banish like a Sir or a Graph early if I can manage to and not lose anything. And basically that means if I get Levier out later, I can like maybe Sir a Barber from the grave and banish out 3 and get that burn for the game. And Nightmare Shark's pretty funny. If you manage to bring out a Nightmare Shark and then you Tour Guide normal summon and bring out Acid Golem, you can make him attack directly. So you can potentially get 3-9 out in a turn if you have, I think, 2 BA monsters and Tour Guide. Yeah, pretty funny that you can do that. So it's always good to get a bit of extra damage, which is why Which is why Terminus is pretty nice. But yeah, that rounds up the extra deck. 2, 3. Let's chuck this back in the order I leave it. Yes, I like my order of my extra deck. And sideboard. Okay, so Black Horn of Heaven, 2. Hate against Stellars, hate against Pendulum Summons. Force back, hate against Stellars, hate against the summon of Towers. Lol, that's funny. But yeah, that actually does happen a lot. If I manage to go first and I have it set. 2 Mind Crush was at 3, put it down to 2. You usually don't side 3 of them in, I usually just side 2 of them in. And sometimes I really don't want to see them because I don't have any cards in hand. Still a good card, however, but yeah, for now, just a 2. Works well, works nice, everyone knows what it does. 1 Skill Drain and 1 Vanities. Oh god, the last cards are so good. Excellent card, good against, pardon me, good against, not Construct, good against Shadows, good against a few other decks. I remember one time I had just a battle out because against a Stellar Knight deck because he had Shadow Imp and I had Skill Drain out in the field, so we just like top decked over and over. And of course 1 Vanity's Emptiness, which is a kind of new addition to put back in there because I was like, yeah, I kind of need a way just to stop Shadows for a turn. Like if I can stop them for a turn, like I can win the game next turn pretty easily. Like, you know, they play Shadow Fusion, I go Vanities, so they go because they don't have a lot of back row to stop me from attacking them directly. Now this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to put this last. Triple Flying C, because if I come up against another BA matchup, I'm turbo, so I can really get a lot of them not getting their Dantes off. Because if they don't get their Dantes off, usually they run out of ways to get it out. Like if they go Special Farfa, normal Graph, and then they go Flying C, generally what they'll have is they'll have set spells and traps, or that's all they'll really have left. Maybe they'll have a tour guide, but they can't because they're normal Graph. Yeah, Flying C kind of really makes them upset, if I can put it that way. And it's good because if you go second, you can still use it. It really just wins the BA matchup, and it's great because you can far for that at the end of your turn, attack with 2 Dantes, start of your turn, attack with 2 Dantes if they've got nothing left, which usually they won't. Dantes go to defense, this comes back in attack or defense and they can't do anything. And I've abused the fuck out of that so many times. Same with if they bring out Acid Golem, which is silly. So yeah, Farpo in this, good. 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance, because this card's either going to get limited or banned very soon. Because it literally says, hey, I see you have a pendulum deck. Yeah, you're not going to play your deck. If I come up against a Turbo Towers deck, and they don't have MSTs or an out to Anti-Spell Fragrance, I'm going to flip that right at the start of the game, even though I can't special summon, and I'm going to sit there and go, yep, do whatever you want, and they're just going to set this in my turn. And the last card is Magical Spring, 2 off. What can I say? I've been waiting a long time to play this card. I did a video with Button Masher ages back. Maybe it wasn't the best video, but kind of got our views out a long time ago that we saw this card was going to be good, and Ignites will be at my locals because they're relatively cheap. I don't know if I'll be meta or not, but who knows in TCG. Because, again, we don't have 2 Torrential Tributes or 3 Torrential Tributes. This basically says to Ignites, hey, I get to draw 2 or 3 and discard 1, and you don't get to go anywhere because I've negated your ability to destroy your other Ignites for a turn or 2 of yours. Because it's until your opponent's end of your opponent's next turn. They can chain Wavering Eyes if they have it, but if they don't, that is so much of a plus that you get after Magical Spring. And if they chain Magical Eyes, you still get a draw or discard. And again, Turbo Towers, you know, they play Wavering Eyes, because that's the only way they can destroy their own. You go, chain Magical Spring, and then you draw 2 and discard 1, and they don't get to turbo their deck out. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. That's a meta call right now, that Magical Spring is going to be coming into the meta very soon. At least as a side. Especially if Ignites would become popular. Obviously, it's probably not as great against Cosmos, but I'm not sure if it, you know, might stop a Cosmotown effect. I'm not sure exactly what it does. Can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, at least in my locals, when I do see Turbo Towers, I have this ready. Or if I see Ignites, because I know people are building Ignites in my locals, I have this and this ready. Good, you can see my shadow. So yeah, that's been my deck profile. I hope you liked it. I was hoping it'd be a bit shorter than what it is, but yeah, I kind of went into the sideboard a little bit more than I did anything else. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. Again, if I get more edits or to the deck, or if something big changes in the meta and I can actually change things up, I will post another video of the deck profile, but I don't really like posting them if I don't have something new to add. So this is why it's been such a long time. And of course the ban list didn't really change anything, so yeah. Anyway, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and watch my Red Eyes deck profile, which will be coming up first. And Dragon Arthur, out.